the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers, or the highway patrol. These are the stories of the men whose training, skill, and courage have enforced and preserved our state laws. The proper discharge of his duty calls for the peace officer to be available 24 hours a day, every day in the year. At work or at play, he must be prepared to meet any emergency in the ceaseless war against crime and criminals. Such an emergency occurred on June 9th of last year, when violence shattered the peaceful realm of a country club golf course.
Hey, that's a beauty. That's got wings.
That's what always happens when I forget to open my eyes.
Judge, I'm a taxpayer. I'm curious how a municipal court judge play golf on a weekday.
Can you keep a secret?
Pretty well, yeah.
I burnt down the courthouse last night so I could have this day off. What about you?
Well, this is no day off for me. I'm on official business.
What do you mean?
I'm looking for the guy that burned down the courthouse. Now, let's go.
Well, I guess I better be going.
What are you going to do about Hepner?
I'll tell you in a couple of minutes. Long distance, I want Springfield 66268. This is Briarwood 54009. Thank you.
Markey sent him down here. If you'll foot the bill, I'll go along with the gang.
I'll be glad when both Hepner and Carroll are out of here. They've been nothing but trouble.
Oh, honey, they're all troublesome one way or another, but it pays off. And some of these days, we'll get enough to buy that little place upstate.
Hello. May I speak to Mr. Markey, please? This is Bruno Keeley of the Knollwood Golf Course. Well, could you wake him up, please? It's very important.
I gotta take care of this right away before the golf course gets busy.
Hello, Markey. This is Bruno. Yeah. I've been having trouble with one of your clients. Yeah, that's the one. He wants credit, and he says that you'll back him up. Now, wait a minute. Don't get excited. Just answer me, yes or no. No. Not a dime, huh? Okay, I understand. Well, Hepner's through. I would have got him now.
Hepner's tough. You'd better be careful.
I can take care of myself.
Can't you handle the situation without that thing?
This is just in case.
Morning, Carroll. Where's Hepner? Took off at the 6th green. Thanks. Wait a minute, Keeley. While you're here, I want to talk to you.
All right, talk.
Look, I'm getting fed up with this business. You know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean.
It's working like a dog. I'm paying you $500 a week for a hideout. Now, with dough like that, I ought to be able to take it easy.
Well, if you don't like it, you can get out. You agreed to be gardeners and groundskeepers when you checked in with me. That's the only way I can keep you guys under wraps.
Yes, but I thought...
Well, you thought wrong. During the 8 years I've run this setup, nobody's been picked up. Either you work or get out. It's up to you.
All right, I'll work.
I thought you would. Hefner,
What's on your mind?
you're supposed to come up with $500 this morning. Where is it?
Charge it. You'll get paid.
I don't do business on credit. If you can't come up with the dough, you better start looking for a new hideout.
I told you to check with Marky.
I did. He wants no part of it.
Well, then we'll do it like this. I figure with all the dough I kicked into you, I'm entitled to a couple of weeks in the house. And I'm taking those weeks starting this morning. Right now.
In that case, you better get off this property in a hurry. I'll have you thrown off.
Get this through your head, Keeley. You're not going to bleed me on every dollar I have and throw me out here.
Get your hands off me, Hefner.
You need a lesson.
So help me. I'm warning you. Keep your hands off of me.
You got it coming to you. And I'm going to give it to you right now.
What's the matter?
Hefner got rough. I had to shoot. He's dead.
Now we're in a real mess. That could ruin everything.
Yes, I know, but I had to do it. He would have killed me.
So what do we do?
I'll get a tarp from the tool shed and roll him up in it and bring him back here. And tonight, after it gets dark, we'll dispose of the body.
Too dangerous.
Well, maybe you can think of something.
Call the police. Tell them one of your men attacked you and you had to shoot in self-defense.
Oh, the police will be swarming all over the place. We can't afford to take a chance.
I still think...
Well, think again.
If I don't find that ball in the next few minutes, I'm going to issue a bench warrant.
Hey, Judge, I'll make a deal with you. Once you drop a ball, and I won't count it as a penalty.
Oh, against the rules. Besides, that was a brand new ball.
Okay, keep looking.
Hey, Dan! Come
what?
here.
It was shot at close range. Hey, you over there in the truck! Come here, right away, come on!
Morning, Judge Francis. Something wrong?
Yes, something is wrong. Very wrong.
Who's he?
Bruno Keeley, superintendent of grounds. He's been with us for years.
Come down here and take a look, will you?
Yes, sir.
You ever see this man before?
Oh, yes, sir. That's Hefner. Well, what happened?
Well, you tell me.
Well, I don't know.
Where are you from?
Well, at my house, I live here on the course.
What are you doing in this area?
Well, every evening I post a list of tomorrow's assignments for my men
Where?
in the tool shed. Then in the mornings I make my round to see that the men are on the job.
This one of your men?
Yes, sir. Judge Francis, shouldn't we call the police?
Police are here already. This is Dan Matthews of the Highway Patrol.
Oh,
Do me a favor, will you?
yes, sir.
Go back, call the highway patrol. Tell them what happened. They'll know what to do.
Yes, sir.
Let's take a look at this, Judge. Social Security number, brand new.
Dan, I can't be any help to you here. I better go back to the clubhouse in case Keeley needs any assistance. You can reach me at the courthouse later.
Okay, I'll call you.
Just say that Mr. Chelsea, manager of Knollwood Golf Course, called. Thank you. Come in.
Mr. Chelsea, something terrible has happened. May I use your phone?
What is it? What's happened?
Hefner, one of my men, has been shot.
Operator, will you give me the highway patrol?
This is terrible.
Down there in that pile of brush.
There's an ambulance in the corner on the way.
All right, fine. Now, in the tool shed, you'll find a list of assignments for the men, what they're supposed to do every day. You check that. I'll check the personnel file.
Right.
Now what's the matter?
We're really in trouble. They found the body.
Who found it?
Judge Francis and a man by the name of Matthews of the Highway Patrol.
What's our next move?
We gotta get Carol out of the way. We might get by with this if they don't find him.
I don't see what connection Carol has with it.
They're gonna find out who Hefner really was. I can say that he fooled me with phony identification. But if they find Carol and investigate him, we're sunk.
Where is Carol?
I just saw him and told him to get over here on the double.
I noticed some of these men have been here a long time. Others, there's a constant turnover. Why?
Mr. Keeley explained to me that this type of help is hard to get, not always too reliable.
Hefner had a lot of jobs before he came here, yet he had a brand new Social Security number. Why?
I don't know. Hello? Yes, he's here. It's for you.
Thanks. Matthews.
This is Hoffman. So far, one employee's missing. A George Carroll, not on the job at his assignment, and so far not located.
Notify the outside units. Give them a description.
Right.
Let's see. Carol. Here it is. Been with you a short time. What do you know about it?
Nothing, I'm afraid. I leave it up to Mr. Keeley to hire his help.
These personnel cards were filled in ink, yet the Social Security number is typed in. Why?
That would indicate they didn't have Social Security numbers when they came here.
In other words, the space was left blank when the cards came through.
That's right.
What did they do for Social Security numbers in the other jobs they had?
I don't know.
I have to do some checking.
Highway Patrol.
This is Matthews. Get in touch with the lab units in the field. Have them get me a rundown on Hefner's fingerprints.
All this because Mastermind had to use a gun instead of his intelligence.
We'll be all right if we use our heads and the law doesn't find Carol.
Where do I go to make sure they don't find me?
Well, it's a cinch you can't leave here in the daylight. There's a dance at the clubhouse tonight. I'll think of something then.
You mean I gotta lay low here until tonight?
That's it.
Okay. Give me my gun.
There's been enough trouble.
Look, nobody's gonna make a pigeon out of me. As cops get close, I want my gun.
Give it to him.
They're not gonna put me in a gas chamber. Not these cops. I shot 2 of them already. 2 more won't make any difference.
While the Highway Patrol checked the personnel records of Hefner and Carroll, Dan Matthews continued his search for some definite clue to the intangible killer.
It's the cop. You two get out of here. I'll talk to him.
We'll be right behind that door, and remember, Keeley, stay out of range. Because if he even breathes too deep or gets in our direction, I'm gonna shoot.
Oh, Mr. Matthews, come in, please.
Thanks. One of your men is missing, a George Carroll.
George Carroll's missing?
You know where he is?
I'm sure I don't, but I better find him. He's supposed to be on the job.
How long has Carroll been here?
Maybe, 6 weeks or longer.
Hefner, how long has he been here?
Oh, he's been here longer than Carroll.
What do you know about Hefner?
Well, not much, really. Other than he's a good man on the job and he came highly recommended.
By whom?
One of the other superintendents called and asked if we had an opening.
Which superintendent?
Well, I can't remember his name, but I can look it up for you.
Who recommended Carroll?
I don't remember.
Well, the fact he's missing means he might know something about the Hefner killing.
Well, that seems impossible to me, Mr. Matthews.
It's a funny thing. I've checked all the men that work for you. Nobody was in that area of the Hefner killing except you.
Well, it's my duty to cover the ground, sir.
Yeah, sure, I understand. Thanks.
Mr. Matthews.
Yeah, what?
Just to satisfy the curiosity of a layman, why are you limiting your search for the killer to my employees?
I'm not.
Oh?
I'm just starting with him.
Well, it looks like we're pretty much in the clear.
I don't know. I'm beginning to worry.
Come in. Find Keeley all right?
Yeah, I found him.
Hello?
Mr. Matthews, please.
For you.
Thanks. Matthews.
None of the references given by Hefner and Carroll are legitimate, and the people listed as nearest relatives do not exist.
What'd you get on Hefner?
Well, fingerprints show that Hefner is really Leonard Gage, two-time loser and murder suspect. Released from prison April 3rd this year. Wanted for robbery of Springfield Shoe Factory payroll and murder of guard April 5th. Gage positively identified by fingerprints on that job.
Thanks. What do you know about Keeley, your groundskeeper?
Fine man. He's been here for many years. I've always regarded him as a permanent fixture.
Don't be too sure. I might have a surprise for you before the day's out.
Here comes trouble.
You talk to him this time. Lie to him, stall him. Do anything, but get rid of him. We're not ready to run yet.
Come in.
I'd like to talk to Mr. Keeley.
Why, he isn't here. Are you Mr. Matthews?
Yeah, that's right.
He went looking for you. Said he had some information for you. Something about the superintendent who recommended Mr. Hefner.
Oh, I see.
I'm sure you'll find him back at the clubhouse.
Did you know Hefner, the man that was killed this morning?
Not very well.
Well, he's Leonard Gage, a wanted criminal.
Who would have thought that?
The guy that shot him thought so. He also knew it.
That seems impossible. How would you know that?
Hefner walked away from his grass cutter. He left it running. He thought he'd get back to work in a few minutes.
How could that have anything to do with it?
A criminal in hiding avoids anybody he doesn't know. No stranger could have gotten close enough to shoot him.
I don't like to hear about these things, Mr. Matthews. I know to you they're routine, but
To me, they're frightening.
Mrs. Keeley, do you know what a professional hideout is?
I'm afraid I don't know what you mean.
It's a place where criminals hide out for money, and they get protection. And they have to pay a price, a very high price.
What an awful thing.
It gives shelter to criminals. Then they have a right to go out and do more robbery and more murder. A guy by the name of Carroll works for your husband, doesn't he?
I know very few of the men who work for my husband.
There's a coincidence between Carroll and Hepner. Their applications were false. They have brand new Social Security cards.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Well, everything points to the fact that Carroll is a wanted criminal.
Mr. Matthews, I assure you that I don't know anything about this.
What salary does your husband make here?
I don't know.
Do you think he's ever hired known criminals to work here?
No.
Does your husband have a gun or a revolver?
I don't know.
You knew he was looking for me with information he didn't have. How did you know that?
He told me.
He told you a local superintendent recommended Hepner. That was a lie.
My husband doesn't lie.
He did this time. Hepner was released from prison on April the 3rd. April the 5th, he robbed a shoe factory and killed a man.
There must be a mistake somewhere.
That was in a city 1,000 miles away. Why did your husband lie?
I don't understand it.
When we find George Carroll, your husband's going to be in real trouble.
Mr. Matthews,
If you're withholding information, you're in trouble, too.
It was self-defense. Hepner attacked my husband, and Bruno shot him. It was self-defense.
She's cracking. We have no other choice. Let's get out of here.
$21.50 to $13.30.
1330 by.
It's a gray pickup driven by 2 armed suspects. They're on the service road. Block it.
10-4.
Drop it! Turn around. How'd you pick up Mrs. Keeley? I'll wait for the coroner. Who's he?
Dutchman, yes. Alias G. Carroll. He shot it out with cops before. This time his luck ran out.
Runs out on you all the time, doesn't it, huh? Tell the judge we'll finish that game one of these days.
You bet.
Come on, start moving. See Highway Patrol again next week. Until then, remember, if you care to drive, drive with care. This is Bradley Crawford saying, see you next week.